So this year pretty much has been a crazy year. We can all agree on that, right? Like, no matter what you think or anything of it, it's been an insane year. And a lot of things get lost in the sauce. I feel like lost in the sauce is going to become like my new slogan because I always say it every video I feel. But this is one of those news that I didn't even remember hearing about it. And now that I'm reading an update on it, I'm like, wait, y'all said y'all talked about this all the way back in February, but I don't remember anything about it. So that is the news that we are actually going to be getting another Orphan movie. If you don't know what Orphan is, it's a movie I suggest you go see. And after you see it, comment down below what you thought, because it's one of those movies you watch with a friend and wait for them to get to that point when the big reveal and everything happens, and you just want to see their reaction, because it's just like you remember your reaction and you're like, I want to see what this person thinks. And that's exactly what Orphan is. But apparently there is a prequel in the works now coming out 2021, and they are actually now doing principal photography, and it is said that the girl in Orphan is actually coming back to play the character again, and this is actually a prequel, so it's not a sequel. So you're probably like, well, many years later I guess they do movies like that, right? No, this is a prequel, so they're gonna have to go through special effects to make her look like a girl. So that should be interesting. But I'm about to talk about what the movie's actually about. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, I highly suggest you watch it. Come back to this video because I don't want to spoil anything. But if you have watched it, let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Orphan basically dealt with a couple who adopt a 9-year-old Russian girl named Esther, and they're immediately like, you know what? Something's a little wrong with Esther. And when you watch this movie for the first time, you're probably like, well, maybe there's something wrong with her mentally and she is sort of starting to lash out, or maybe there's something supernatural going on. But no, she is actually a 33-year-old woman named Lena Clammer who has a condition called hypopituitarism. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it actually stunted her growth, and this resulted in her looking like a little girl. So what she decides to do is pose as a little girl, bounce from family to family, and that's pretty much what this movie is about. And she pretty much flips on them, and we won't get much more into that, but this is a movie that is going to be getting a prequel. That prequel is called Orphan First Kill. And this is going to show how it all started for Lena and how the murders started to happen. And I think that's a pretty interesting thing to go back and look at, is how did this woman turn into whatever she turned into? Like, what made her snap inside, And this is going to show Lena escaping from the psychiatric facility that she was in, going to the United States and pretending to be the daughter of a wealthy family. And we've heard about real life cases like this as well, where people pretend to be the missing person years later, and so many people don't try to question it because they're just like, well, so that's what pretty much ends up happening. So we see Lena start to pretty much get her Esther identity going, and then she is pretty much trying to get like whatever she's trying to get. Now, we do know who the mother is going to be in this movie, and it's actually going to be Julia Stiles. So I thought that a pretty good choice. I love Julia Stiles in the Bourne franchise, and I think it's always going to be interesting to see her come into this role right here. As I said, Isabelle Fuhrman, who actually played the character of the girl in the first Orphan movie, is going to come and play Esther again. And so the article that I'm reading actually says she was 10 years old at the time when Orphan was shot. And so she is now about 23 years old. So that's going to be an insane amount of like special effects. So what the filmmakers are saying is they will be utilizing a combination of forced perspective shooting and world-class makeup to make her look like she would 10-year-old. And I'm just like, damn, I'm hoping that you all have a pretty good solid story to go through all that trouble, because I would hope that that is the case. So this is going to be brought to us by the people behind The Boy, and with The Boy, it's like a love-hate relationship, I feel, with me personally, because it wasn't the best horror movie, but it's also not the worst horror movie. So I hope that they will able to be produced something great. Now, I do know Leonardo DiCaprio produced the first one, so I'm hoping he's coming back and he sees some sort of potential for this one, because if he's coming, like the first one, I thought was a great movie. I went to go see it in theaters actually, and I thought it was a pretty good film. Now, it didn't like explode at the box office in that moment in time. It wasn't like the big thing out there, but over the years, the film has gotten a cult following, I feel, and I've seen more people praise it now as they get to watch it for the first time. I might actually do a video on Orphan as well, since it's coming out, so tune in for that once it comes out. But I do feel it always had a potential for more movies, because I thought it was well crafted. It was like seeing Vera Farmiga for like get into like the horror films right there for the first time, and now we see where she's at. So overall, I think that this is a good film that needs more exploring, and I'm just a little hesitant though with them trying to bring in the same actress, because I don't know. I mean, Hollywood, I know they always get older people to play like teenagers and all of that. That makes a little sense. It should be easy, but it's gonna be interesting how they try to make a 23-year-old look like a 10-year-old. I think that should be interesting to see once that comes out. They are in principal photography, so it sounds like they're trying to get this out for like Halloween. More than likely, start shooting maybe next year, all of that, and then get a trailer out by the summer, something like that, right? And then we should see how it all looks by then. Now, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm definitely going to check out the first movie again just to get caught up on it, and then I'll probably make a video on it, because I thought it was a pretty good film, and I've never made a video on it because that came out way before I started on YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna make a video on that, so stay tuned for that by subscribing down below. But let me know what you think about this prequel. Is it something that we needed, or is it a little bit too late? It's been 13 years since the first film came out, so I'm interested to know what you think. If it's too late and they should have just left it. And also, what do you think about them trying to use the same actress again, Isabel Fuhrman, who was 10 years old at the time of the first film and is now 23, and she's still going to play a 10-year-old again? I think that's going to be interesting to see. Hollywood did make Cats, so I don't think that they have a problem trying as much special effects as they need to in order to get what they're looking for. But still, it should be an interesting thing to see just on the special effects that they're going to do, and try to make it seem like it's actually going to be an actual 10-year-old, not a 20-year-old. So we'll see. Anyways, let me know below in the comments what else you want to see on this channel. We are currently going through a lot of remodeling, you could say, so I'm definitely working on that. I also have a TikTok where I post horror related stuff, and I'm also doing like fast news as well. I'll leave them all down below so you can check them out. My Twitter is down there as well, my Anchor, my website, all that good stuff. So go follow me over there for some more stuff as well. Let's get to 17,000 subscribers. I hope we can get there before the end of the month, and we are currently about to get to 16,500. So almost there. But anyways, as always, that'll do it for me. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.